Hey everyone, and welcome to Team Call tonight. Obviously, I am not Darcy Groton. I'm Megan Castanyon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm just using Darcy's Zoom. So I just want to thank everyone for showing up. I want to thank Mindy, Covey for jumping on with us tonight. If you guys don't know Mindy, you are in for a treat. She is just amazing. She went Emerald last year and her team is doing amazing things. I have watched her grow for years and it's been really fun. She is inspiring. She has an awesome Instagram following and she's doing great things. So Mindy, I'm just gonna let you go take it away and tell us what you got.
Okay, sure. Well, hey guys, how are you? Thanks for hanging out this evening. I'm just going to kind of start by sharing my story. If you've heard it before, sorry about that. If you haven't, hopefully you like it. And then I'm going to move into some different things. But I started like I feel like everybody's story is similar in this way sometimes. I was just really tired, moody mom. Like I really struggled with my energy levels. I was working a lot. I was coaching collegiate cheer and dance at that time. I was in charge of 40 to 50 athletes every week. My husband was traveling more than he was home, at least. Like I think back to it now, he was out of town 3 weeks out of the month. He'd go in rotation. He'd be out for 3 weeks and then back for a week. And I had 2 little girls at the time, and I was just angry. I was frustrated. I felt like everybody was getting the best of me, except the ones I wanted to give the best to. And I don't know if you guys have ever felt like that before. But I really struggled with that and really had a lot of mom guilt, shame, all the things that come on top of that and just really make you feel worse when it's already a hard situation. And so I just started searching for answers. I wanted to find something that could give me enough to get through the day, and that when I got home, I wasn't just flopping on the couch, right? I just wanted to be present with my girls when I got home and take them on a walk. Like it was really very simple for me. But what ended up happening with Plexus was an answer to a lot of my prayers in a very like snowball effect. And I'm sure some of you guys have had that similar effect too, where you see one thing and then you're like, I wonder if this could be an answer to prayer here. And I wonder if this could be an answer to prayer here. And it just kept moving in that direction for me. And so I felt good, felt great. I was actually a preferred customer for 6 months. So I always say, don't give up on your customers. That's one of my big things because you just never know what's going to happen. I was not planning on telling anybody that I was taking supplements, let alone from an MLM company. I've always been in health and wellness and fitness, and I felt like people really trusted me in that realm. And I was not going to stamp my name on an MLM supplement. So I was very snotty in that regard. But the products, the company, everything humbled me. And I eventually started sharing, mainly because I needed to get my products paid for. And I did that. My first month, my paycheck came in and it was, just shy of $400. And it kind of started there, with what could this be? First off, I didn't think that I could actually make that kind of money. I legit called my sponsor and said they got it wrong. Something's illegal here. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I don't know if I want any part of this. I just couldn't believe that me sharing with a few friends would really equal that. And what no one knew at the time is that we were struggling hard with finances. And no one knew that. Like I would have told everybody under the sun that I was struggling with my energy levels and my health, but I was not about to talk about that. And no one knew. And so, but it was weighing on me because I felt very responsible for our financial issues. Because my husband is the man that squeaks while he walks, and I'm the like, let's live life and have fun personalities that go together so often in a marriage with money. And I had gotten us into financial trouble, and not only financial trouble, but also just marital trouble, because he was upset, I was upset, and money causes a lot of problems. He was traveling all the time, I was working all the time. Like, it was just not a good situation for any of us. It was really toxic. And I think that Plexus gave me a glimmer of hope, of a way out, of a different life, like one where I felt good, number one, and number two, one where we were not struggling constantly or worried about, is my debit card going to go through at Walmart so that we have food? Can I not defer my loan payments out on my master's degree? I mean, like, I had a master's degree. Like, it was so mind-boggling to me that we were struggling that hard financially when we had done everything right. Does that make sense? Like, I had went to college, I had got the job, I was doing the things, and we were still struggling so hard. And so that's just kind of where it started. For me, no one knew that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. No one knew that I cried every time that I dropped off my girls, at daycare. No one knew those things, because why would I talk about them when there's no way out? You know what I mean? Because I've had people say that before. They're like, well, I didn't know that that was something you wanted. I'm like, of course you didn't. I didn't talk about it. I didn't even admit it to myself, because that would have broke my heart, that I could never make it happen. You know what I mean? And so that was something that I really struggled with for a lot of years. Like, well, of course you want to be home with your kids. So does everybody else under the sun, but you can't afford it. Like, you got to go to work. And I just started to see a little bit at a time what Plexus could provide. And I feel like really when I saw the big picture was when I went about Senior Gold and really just dove all the way in. And I did eventually. July of 2019, I did not renew my contract. I was teaching psychology at the time. I didn't renew my contract. And then 2020 happened, and I went Emerald and all the things, and I have maintained Emerald ever since then. And it's just been the biggest blessings in so many ways. So many answered prayers have come from this, and I've got to meet all you guys, which is also something I didn't think that I needed or wanted. More friends, more people in my life. But it's just been the biggest blessing. And so I hope you guys feel that way about your business too, because I think sometimes we get caught up in what we don't have, or what is not working, or why this isn't working for us, versus remembering why we started in the first place. So I hear my toddler coming. Hang on just a second. You need a snack? Ask sissies, please. Okay, can you go ask sissies? Okay. I'm solo parenting tonight, so you might see him here and there. He likes the Zooms. So, okay, well, I will go ahead and move into, Megan asked me what are, like, I feel like are some of my strengths, and kind of share those with you. And she mentioned social media, and I want to explain that I had to work at social media. It wasn't something that came natural to me. I look back, you guys ever look in your memories at what you were posting pre-Plexus even, and you're like, oh, like, what was your girl doing? So it was not something that had, like, what came innate to me at all. It's something I definitely grew, and I tried to learn a lot of, because honestly, I was tired of always doing the reach outs, and I wanted to attract more people. And it's not that I'm not doing IPA, because I still do IPA. It's just in a different format than what I was doing for years and years and years. And I wanted the right people to come to me versus me always going to them. I just felt like my retention would be higher, and it is. And I felt like the people that came to me were actually ready for a change, and they knew me through my posts, through my stories, all of that kind of stuff. And so I felt like I was the right fit for them, if that's making sense to you guys. And so I really had to, first of all, figure out what on earth can I provide on social media. It's a loud space, guys. There's a lot going on, and how can you even carve a path out, right? And I think it's just really comes down to, who are you? What are your God-given gifts? And how can you give that to others? You know, and you always hear give value, and I heard that 100 times, and I'm like, I'm giving value. I'm posting about Slim. That's value, you know, but that's not necessarily the value you might want to be giving. Maybe you should be talking about how Slim is incorporated through your day, or what Slim gave you. Remember that facts tell, stories sell. That, like, something I think about all the time. And just really getting clear on how you're going to help your people, and understanding that you are not for everyone. That was also really hard for me. I'm a people pleaser. I'm an Enneagram 3, red personality. Like, I like lots of people, and I like all eyes on me. Like, I'm a dancer, like all the things. So it was hard for me when I felt like people didn't like my posts, or they didn't get anything from them, or whatever that is. And it's just something where you have to figure out, what is your clear message here? For me, mine is wellness, and what I'm going to give you when I'm working with you. My big overhanging theme for my social media is, I want to take the overwhelm out of wellness for you. Because I don't know about you guys, but there's 100,000 different things in wellness. And a lot of times people just get paralyzed by the thought of even starting in the first place. And so getting clear on what you actually want, and then start writing posts towards those people. So I write posts a lot that are geared towards people who feel paralyzed, because there are so many choices out there and they don't know which way to go. So I think about that person, because that was me. I don't know about you guys, but I felt like I tried 100 different things because it worked for her, whatever, right? And I never gave anything any amount of time, because I was so concerned about trying the next thing. And so I think about that Mindy that was just jumping all over the place and not getting any of the results that she wanted, not feeling great, and moving toward, and talking to her. And so, you know, and a lot of times they say, like, you should have your ideal client in your head and you should speak to them. And I do think that that helps. And I just try and take it back to places where I was feeling helpless, or I was feeling hopeless, or I was struggling. What would I say to that Mindy? And then I write a post from that perspective a lot of the times. And a couple other things with social media. Instagram's a whole nother world than Facebook. I wish I could tell you that that's not true, but it just really is. What you're doing on Facebook is not going to work on Instagram. I wish that it did, because I would be so, like, I just wouldn't have to spend so much time, I feel like, doing different things. But Instagram is just a different world. And it's not that it's not a great place to spend your time. I just want to tell you that if you're going to dive into Instagram, you have to actually dive in. There's no dipping your toes. You have to go for it. And you have to be committed, and you have to stay the course. It took me about a year and a half, and I'm not even kidding. And this might be discouraging, but I just want to give it to you guys straight. It took me about a year and a half to get what I was doing on Instagram down, and then start bringing people in from Instagram. It really did take about that long. So hopefully, if you guys are in the Instagram world and you feel like you're getting no traction, that's normal. It just takes time. It's a different audience, a different feel. Usually, for the most part, it's not people you know. So you've got to build relationships over there. You've got to find a community. Like for me, it's my workout community on Instagram, and I've worked through them a lot. Like I've we've built a lot of relationships because we're constantly talking about our workouts, what's going on, all the things. And now we are starting to get into the point where they trust me and they're wanting to talk about products or they're wanting to talk about Plexus. I'm starting to invite them to things. So it's not like the easiest world, but I do think that it's great for expansion and networking outside of like your normal warm market, if that makes sense to you guys. So hang in there with Instagram. It takes time. You just have to try things, and you just have to fool around and do things. Like I've been trying to make more reels and like all the different things that they have to offer. You just have to kind of step into it and give it a go. Getting growled at. Not sure why though. There's one in there. Oh, go sit down. You're welcome. Does anyone have any questions over that before I kind of move on? Anybody want a cracker?
I have one question.
Mhm.
When it comes to Instagram and you're doing your IPA, what
Yes.
does that look like?
Mhm.
Instagram versus Facebook? Because I'm sure that's like totally different.
Yeah, so for me, it's doing a lot of connecting through people's stories. I'm going through their stories and I am commenting, or having conversations. Like I had a friend this morning, her baby woke up at 4 a.m., so we were talking back and forth about sleep regression and, just stuff like that, just normal conversations. So I do that quite a bit. I do spend time commenting on people's posts, just like you do on Facebook. The algorithm is the same there, and in terms of that. And then I spend a lot of time offering samples on Instagram. I feel like I've had more hits off of samples there than I've ever had with Facebook. And I think I shared this with Laura on our accountability call not long ago. So with my group that we're heavily working out together all the time, I've sent messages that have just said, like, hey, I really admire you. I know you're getting in the gym. I know you're getting it done. I really would like some feedback on my natural pre-workout from people who are actually going to the gym. Can I shoot you a stick or whatever? And that has been really great. I've had quite a few orders that have come in from that. And then I have a couple of girls, one girl who started a business with me, and then another who's like on the cusp of starting. So that's kind of what it looks like for me.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for Mindy on social media? Go tell Sister God.
Yeah, I'll ask a question really quickly before we move on to the next thing. Mindy, was there somebody that you like followed and got tips from on social media, or is this like a trial and error, I figured out what worked kind of thing?
I think it's both. I mean, I follow some pretty big Instagrammers for Plexus, people that I feel like do well on the Instagram scene for Plexus: Emily Roberts, Jill Renfro, Brianna Coolidge, Jenny Casper. So some of those that I feel like I do pay attention to what they're doing, and I will pull from certain things that they're doing. But then I just follow other influencers too, some in like my Kansas City area, or like, what are they doing, and looking outside of that. And one thing I remember when I first started Reels, Christine Athey was asking me about it, and I'm like, don't watch what the Plexus people are doing. Like, just go on Reels. What are people doing in general? And then make your Reels based off of what you're seeing from that. Because it's easy to spot an MLM reel or post on Instagram. I feel like it's really, really quick that you can spot them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that I prefer to get people in the door and then talk to them before they know that I'm part of an MLM. Because we know sometimes that's like run for the hills type of a thing. So I want them to get to know me first before we start having those conversations.
Okay, so off of that, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So I follow you, obviously. And I noticed like there's a lot of people that post like, like off the Instagram, One Plexus community. I do that. But I know I've just like been paying attention that you don't a whole lot. And I don't you post Plexus, but like, would you say that most of your posting in stories and in your feed and your reels and all the things you're doing is like strictly like health, and then you kind of sprinkle in Plexus very infrequently, and then you build the relationships and then talk to them?
I would
Like,
say, yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I would definitely say it's more of a wellness theme in general. Like I'm going to maybe show you what I'm cooking. I'm going to maybe show you my workout. I'm maybe going to talk, the other day I was talking about like the microbiome for babies as they're born through the vaginal canal. Like, I'm definitely just talking more about wellness in general. And my thought process to this, and this doesn't make me right, by the way, guys. My thought process to that is I want them to trust me with wellness in general and with wellness information, because I know that I was super skeptical of anybody having any kind of wellness ideas that were in an MLM. I just thought they were trying to take my money, right? And so I really want to show them that I'm about wellness in general, and the products are part of my regimen of wellness. And that's why I sprinkle them in. Like I did a reel the other day talking about how my energy has been good this pregnancy compared to others. And, but I attribute that to lack or not having as much stress because I'm not working the way that I was working in my other pregnancies, and active because I didn't have active. And so, I am talking about it, but I'm talking about it in terms of wellness in general, not just like, hey, here's the product. I'm more trying to show how supplements add to your wellness routine.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
I think one thing that Mindy does really well, you guys, and I'm a toot her horn because I like watch her and love her, and I think that she's really great, is that she offers solutions to her audience that are not plexus related.
Yeah.
So Mindy is really good about saying like, hey, you guys, this is a great workout you can do, or this is a great thing that you can do, or this is how you win at this, or this is how you whatever. And so they're like, I'm getting all these free tips from Mindy of success in wellness. So why wouldn't I also take her advice on plexus?
Right.
And I think that's so much what you're saying is like, you are offering them value through giving them like success before they even start the products. Like they can now be successful with workouts and meal planning because Mindy gave them that. So why wouldn't they also trust her with supplementation? So I think that's a really good, you're right, overall overarching theme that you have going on, but people are learning to trust you because of all the other goodness that you're bringing them. That's not just why the pink drink works.
Right.
Yes.
That's definitely my goal. So I'm glad you're picking that up.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, sister.
Okay, good. Because sometimes you're like, I don't know if anybody's getting any of this. But yeah, that's definitely the goal. I want to be viewed as a real person. And I was actually talking to a girl in New York the other day. She's like, I had no clue that you did or that you were successful at whatever the heck it is that you do. And I thought that was so funny. Because she watches my stories and stuff like that. And she's like, I just didn't see it. She's like, could I run a business like that and just still be me? I'm like, of course you could. Why do you think you can't be you? And so I think that just be true to yourself. Who are you? Show up as you on social media. You are someone who loves plexus. So that is natural. That should be natural because you are someone who represents and loves plexus. And so it shouldn't feel salesy or gimmicky or weird because this is part of your life. Just show why it's part of your life.
Love that. Anyone else have any questions? Did you have more to talk about besides social media?
I think the only other thing that I was going to chat about briefly was the comp plan changes.
Oh, awesome.
And really how that actually is going to integrate into your business and why you want to be really showing up on social media now, because when phase 2 is going to kick in, if you are someone who's present on social media and you're someone who's doing things like sharing about the products and you're sharing your link and all of that kind of stuff, it's going to come second nature for the people who sign up with you as customers or as ambassadors to do it as well. Okay. So something that I have been doing is when my gals get in their free products, they are tagging me in a story. And 2 reasons I'm having them do that. 1, they got a free sample. They got to give me a shout out. They know it up front. 2, they're already getting exposed to what I would have them do once they become a customer or an ambassador in phase 2, because they're going to have the ability to shoot that link out, right, in phase 2 as a customer and get kickbacks. Like, it's just like any other perks program. I don't know if you guys have one of these in your town. Oh, they drive me bonkers. They're like protein shake places. It's like Herbalife, which is fine. Like that's okay. But they are the masters of getting people to post about those drinks. Like I probably see 8 people in the morning posted about their protein place drinks that they got. And the reason why they're doing that is because they get points and then they get free drinks. That is why they're doing that. They're not doing it because they actually like it that well. They're just doing it because they can get a free drink. Remember the little punch card at Subway? And when you filled up your punch card, you got a free sub. Same thing. Like I taught about this in psychology, so it's all really fascinating to me. Like it's a reward system. We're going to have that with Plexus. Start priming your people now to do these things so that when they have their link available, they're just going to do it because they've already been doing it. And now they're going to start benefiting from it and getting different things. So that's one of the things I'm doing when I'm sending samples. I'm like, hey, will you send me a shout out on my story for it? They're like, sure, no worries. When they get it in, they'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm hopeful that just shows them how simple and easy it's going to be for them to share about their products and get some stuff back. So to me, guys, I really like phase 1, but phase 2 is where it's at. It's going to change so much. And just the conversations that we have with people, I know I'm going to be more relaxed going into the conversation. It's not going to be something they're very exposed to. I mean, when you talk about like going silver or getting 3 people or whatever right now, that's just not something people are exposed to. Like they're not, I'll come down here and look at what you're saying here in a second, Gina. Like they're not used to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, what, how would I do that? Like, it's not clicking. But if you tell them, hey, if you share your link with your friends and they order, you get this cash back that you can use on products. They're like, yeah, they've been exposed to that. They've been doing that for their entire life. And so it's just going to be something that's so simple, so great to have a conversation with them. It's going to feel just like you telling them about the perks program, or you telling them about the fact that if you go to the protein place and take a picture and tag them, you get a free drink. Like, it's just really going to be very, very simple. I hope that you guys are gearing up for that and you're feeling excited about that, because it's going to be a great program for the people you're bringing in and then for you as well. And it's really going to allow you to just meet people where they are, wherever that is for them. I know that in the past, we've kind of pushed people towards welcome packs or whatever. And I'm still running my business knowing that the welcome pack is the best choice for them, because I know that that's where the results are going to lie. But there are sometimes people who just want collagen, right? Or whatever. And that's going to be okay. Because they're going to still help us with our goals and we're going to get to help them with theirs. And that is a great marrying of the 2 things. And I think it's going to absolutely explode if you guys are getting your heads in the right space and in the game for what's to come, basically. So start thinking about it now. Like, don't wait until the phase actually comes about. Like, how can you work it in the conversation now, in order to be ready so that when phase 2 drops, like you're running, you're on the ground running, you're not going like, oh, what should I be doing? Because you already know it's coming. So try and prep now, which is something that's hard for me and something I always have to tell myself too, like it's coming whether I'm ready or not. So why not be ready?
So I love this. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
I was just looking at what
Gina
asked.
I just was going to say this really quick. I love this, that you're like, here's a sample, do a shout out post to me. Then when they end up ordering, you're like, hey, remember that shout out post that you did? Do another one.
Yep.
You got your product, do another one.
Yep. And now you're going to get $20 credit.
So love that.
Yes. It's just going to be really simple. I feel like it's going to flow really well. And I mean, what's better than helping your people get free product? Like, I don't know, like, hey, with that $20, why don't you try Active now? Or, hey, with that $20, why don't you add in MetaBurn or Immune Plus or whatever they've been eyeballing? Because they're going to love it. And then they're going to add it to their order anyways. And then, hey, win-win. They end up being worth more points too. So Gina, I'm not using specific verbiage. I'm just telling them, hey, when you get your samples in, could you do a shout out post for me and just tag me on your stories? Like just take a picture of your samples and say like, I can't wait to try this. Thanks. And tag me or something very, very simple. I could send them sample verbiage, but I feel like that has worked so far. So I haven't dug too much further into that, if that helps. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Sorry, I was just giving them a moment in case anyone did. That was awesome. I'm going to take away a lot. And I know everyone else is. Thank you so much, Mindy. This was huge.
You're welcome.
We loved having you on and we just appreciate you. So thank you.
Very welcome. And I'm just glad that the kids didn't like interrupt me 100 times. So
yeah,
hey,
they were great. That was great. Way better than what my kids typically do. So
I put popcorn out and put on a movie. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. Everett's the star of the show. He's so great. You're wonderful too, but Everett doesn't like to be left out.
He's got his own fans, and I think he heard his name because here he comes with a bucket of raisins. I don't even know how he got them in the first place. You want to say hi? No, do you just want your raisins? You want to say hi to everyone? No. All right. Well, I'm gonna get these kids off to bed. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being on.
Thanks Mindy.
For being on.
Thank you.
Oh, now you're gonna say bye.
Bye.
Bye.